Okay. Then now logically it follows. See, now you added the service call out, right? Again, it has its own request action and response action. So what does this request action represent? I mean, it doesn't. See, this is just to give like a very fine grained control. Okay, so the let's say if you don't have these, so essentially those variables that request customer service request should be initialized, before this, the service call out is called, right? But it provides this request action here, right? So you can perform that action here of assigning this variable with the request message. So at the end of this line is when that service is finally called. So it follows that in the request action, you can go ahead and add something like assign. So assign and replace, right? There are like two actions. These are the two actions that you primarily use for your transformation related activities mostly. Okay. So you have the assign action. So if you go into assign, so it is saying, okay, give me a variable that we want to. So what it will do is like here it is letting us define an expression, right? So here we can construct an expression, and the output of that expression will be assigned to that variable. Okay, so it is the customer service request is the variable we want the we want the result to be in. So if you click on click on this, now here, see, if now we are uh, getting ready to call this customer service get method. Okay, so if you look at the XML, this is how the that XML is, right? So you can go here. So yes. Okay. Now here is one thing that you guys have to remember. Okay, a SOAP message or a regular REST, REST services request message, response message, which don't essentially have the SOAP body, SOAP envelope tags, and all of that. As far as OSB is concerned, the moment any type of message enters OSB and until it exists, any message is always represented in a SOAP format. Okay. So basing on whatever format that it was originally, and those conversions will be done by the runtime. Just for uniformity, um, any message that flows through OSB is represented in SOAP format internally in the OSB. Okay, so that's why as we're getting creating the request message here, we have to also make sure that it's in the SOAP. Now, so the SOAP body tags, right? So I'm defining a namespace, and then I'm giving the tag SOAP body. So, okay. So here for XXX, I know that person ID, right? I'm going to hard code that 9876. So it is for this person ID that we are getting all the customer details of this person. his customer account details, right? Okay, so once I do that assign, and since we are assigning that to this variable, uh, and that's the and after this there's nothing else on the request action. So when it comes to the end, at that time, basing on whatever value is in this variable, it is gonna do a soap service soap service call out using that. So at this point, let's say it does that, and then it gets the response, and the response is in which variable. The response will be captured in the customer service response. So now when we call, so like we are seeing here, when we call this with the value 9876. This is the response, right? So this response will be captured in that variable. So it's all looking good. Okay, then uh, so the next step after that is that now in the routing, before this end service is called, basing on the response that we received, we need to get the data that we need out of that response, and then enrich our original message that was initial that's flowing through the OSP. Okay, so now that can be technically done even in response action. Okay, because this response action pipeline, this represents all the activities that will be executed once we receive the response from the customer service. Okay, or you can also do that as part of the the request action in the routing, right? Because before as routing as request action, this is where we get ready by preparing all the messages to be called with the right format and stuff, right? But one can argue for both the cases. So let's say okay, any questions so far? Okay. Okay, so now okay, now what comes next is the transformation. Okay, so Kamal, I think you have some taste of transformation, right? Exquery transformation. Hey, Kamal. Kamal. Bharat. Do you have some taste of exquery transformation, or? I haven't done much actually. I'm mostly working on the people side. Okay, and Ashwini, you did as part of that one example, right?
I think of XQuery as such, but I have an XSLT transformation.
Oh, okay.
Those are two different things, right? Yeah, I did little bit actually.
What was that?
I did little bit in Qualcomm.
Okay. Okay, so this part can be little tricky, guys. This replace action. So let's pay. Let's hope we kind of get through that in one discussion. Okay. Okay. So now, okay, let's go back to the drawing board for a second.